Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Backroads Finds, where I talk about my travels and thrifting and selling things online on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark, and sometimes Depop. I'm doing a series right now. I'm a fairly new reseller. I'm not a guru or trying to sell anybody anything. I'm just doing a very, I hope, transparent video, periodically showing you some of the things that I'm dealing with as a new reseller. And one of them is that I got kind of all caught up in the idea that you had to fill carts several times a week in order to, be a successful reseller. And for a while now, I've been looking at the people that promote themselves as gurus and are selling programs to teach you how to be a reseller. And there's a lot of things about what they're doing that have caused me some questions. And I'm not blaming them for my death pile, but I do feel that as new resellers, we need to be very careful about who we choose to follow, who we choose to see as our mentors, and what we take from those mentors. Just, if you feel like they're a good mentor, you don't need to take everything that they say as gold, I guess. So this series is called List It or Let It Go. So I have a huge death pile, and my daughter comments on my videos in text messages. She doesn't comment on the channel. I wish she would. And she had two questions this week, and one was, what's a death pile? And so if you don't know, a death pile are things that you've bought to list, and for some reason or another, you didn't list it. And those can build up into piles. And if you look at other sellers, some of them will show you what they call their death pile. And it has, sometimes they're just incredible. And mine has gotten to be incredible. So what I've done for the month of May is I've done very little shopping. I've restricted my shopping to things that I like to sell and that I know I can sell quickly and for a good profit. So really, mostly what I've purchased this month has been purses. When I look at my statistics as to what I sell the most of, it's purses, and I do well with them. So yeah, so I haven't picked up many, but I do have a few purses in my backlog of things I haven't listed yet. I'm not sure how that happened because I really like selling purses. I like to polish them up and photograph them and list them. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I've been working on those this week and working on more clothes. So on this show, I'm just randomly grabbing a box of things and saying, let's look at these things together. And but throughout the week, I'm going through boxes and listing primarily stuff out of my death pile and stuff that I've purchased in the last couple weeks. And I'm adding the letter L, representing the show, for part of my item number on my when I go to pull things, so that I know, so I don't forget whether it was something I'd purchased recently or was already in my inventory, or if it was something that I just listed in May out of my death pile. So I'm keeping track of what I've sold. And I'll do, at the end of May, I'll do another episode of, you know, what sold out of the death pile, and I'll be able to identify those things. You know, if you don't list it, you can't sell it. And if you don't sell it, you've lost money. So one of the things I'm learning is some of the things I've picked up on bad advice. I know I've been talking about factor stacking and things that I've heard on other shows. And, you know, there's people picking up, you know, what they call bread and butter, and they pick them up based on some things that, you know, even if it's a brand that doesn't sell much, they pick them up and they're claiming that they sell these quickly and for a good profit. Based on using descriptions that, you know, focusing on the description of the item rather than the brand. And that seemed kind of logical to me this last year as I was thrifting. So I looked through the box I grabbed today, and there's a lot of examples of things that I picked up that I should not have, that I picked up because of that idea of, you know, oh, polka dots are in style. This is cute. Let's pick this up because it's got polka dots. And one of those in the pile is pretty good and the other one isn't. Excuse me. Which reminds me, I also want to talk today for just a minute or two about using AI. I had a head injury a few years ago, and I have loved, I've been using AI for almost a year now, not just in selling, but in keeping track of my thoughts and sorting things out. And of course, it's a computer. It's not a human being, but one of them that I use, ChatGPT, I pay for an account with that one. Has been the most helpful. It remembers, I tell it to remember things, and it will remind me, like, I might show, I use it when I'm in the store shopping, and I'll show it something that I'm thinking about buying, and it'll ask me, is this really where you want, you know, I've told it where I want to put my focus right now, and it'll tell me, you know, that's not what you wanted to focus on. So so it's been good for that. But the other thing that I've done is, especially working on my death pile, there's been a few things that I'm not, when I look at the comps on Poshmark or eBay, it's something that is not selling or does not appear to be selling. And that 90-day thing, you know, it's telling you what all has been listed. And of those things that have been listed, keep that part in mind, how many of those things have sold. Some of the gurus are explaining that incorrectly. So when you're looking at what has been listed for the month, it's not just what isn't sold, it's what isn't sold and what was sold. So you add those two numbers together and then you divide it by how many were sold. And that tells you what percent they're selling at. So these ideas of something selling at 300% are nonsense. It's 100% or 0% or somewhere in between. That's all there is to it. And it doesn't really tell you how long you're going to have to hang on to it before it sells, because there's so many factors that play into this, like what season is it? You know, maybe I might pick something up that's a winter item, and if I look at the so-called sell-through rates, it might have a good sell-through rate right now because we're just coming out of you know, the last months of winter, and people were still buying a few things for winter. And some of the summer things might not be showing up so much right now. So I think it's really important. I followed Jack Valentine on YouTube, and he is just very savvy about fashion. He goes to the mall. He goes when the seasons change. He goes and looks at what the malls are, selling, and he's just really in tune to these high dollar fashions. And he lives in Minnesota, where there's a lot of clothing and shoe manufacturers in Minnesota, and so I think he gets a little bit better opportunity than I do where I'm located, which is why I like to thrift when I travel. But anyways, so he focuses on very high dollar items, and he will look at the retail price. And so if he picked up something that, originally sold for $500, he might list it for $150 and get $130 for it. So he's listing things that he's getting, more than $20 for. Most of the stuff he's getting is, over 70. Most of the things he's selling are over $70 and up, to as much as $300 for used clothing. So I think he's a good person to follow. He's not trying to teach anybody anything. He's just, sharing what he does. And he's funny. I like him a lot. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with this one, and it is a mistake, maybe. I mentioned using AI, because I'll ask AI if this is something I should list, how much I should list it for, how I should list it, some keywords, some aesthetic words, things like that might help me sell it. And I feel like that's helped me make more sales lately. But again, I have to keep in mind, this is a computer, and it's only as good as it's programmed. And I suppose one other thing I should tell you is I spent a lot of time, I use Gemini, the free version, and I use ChatGPT, the paid version. And especially ChatGPT, I spent a lot of time training it to know me. And one of the things I did was early on, I asked it to interview me about who I am and who I am as a seller. And I answered those questions, and then I tell it a lot of things, and it gives me feedback. And then periodically I'll ask it to tell me about myself, and I'll see how close it is to understanding what I'm doing. And it's also good to, I tell it what to remember. So like for a while it was, I would ask it to list aesthetics for an item I was listing, and it would give me aesthetics with, with like square blocks in front of them. And sometimes it would give me a suggestion for a description of a listing, and it would have emojis in it. You don't want those things. So I have asked it not to put any emojis in. I've asked it to use hashtags for the aesthetics. And so I'm also training it how I write. And then of course I look through everything and make changes to make it sound a little more like me, and things that I don't think the computer quite got. And I correct it a lot. It'll make a mistake looking at the photos, and I'll come back and say, no, that's not what the brand is. The brand is this, or no, this is not a 14, it's a, 42, or, whatever mistake it's made, I'll let it know. And I keep telling it, look closer at my photos. And so with time, they start working with you better, but it's important to tell them that you want them to remember these things, so they won't keep doing it. ChatGPT annoys me because it tells me too much, and ends discussions with about 50 different possible things I might want it to do in addition. It's trying to make me too happy, I think. Anyway, so I've asked it to stop doing that, and so things are a little more under control. Okay, so this first item is a dress from Danny and Nicole. It's a size 18, and it is a black dress with turquoise polka dots, and it's it's kind of a swing dress, and I think I'll put a picture of it up here so you can get a better look at the silhouette of it. And ChatGPT said not to sell it, and I paid $11 for this, and or no, I'm sorry, ChatGPT told me to list it because there are a lot of younger buyers that like taking something like this, which would have originally been sold, you know, as an office dress or a church dress, and suggested I use more artsy kind of tags on it because there's young people that like taking stuff like this and doing some fun stuff with it to make it more modern. And then Gemini said, no, don't waste your time on it. So I'm going to see if I can find some examples of what ChatGPT was talking about. But, you know, one of the things you'll notice when I start telling you about all the things I do to go through this death pile, you'll see that I'm spending a lot of time on this stuff, but I want to get as much money out of that pile as possible before I go further. And I'm also rethinking what I'm trying to sell and what I'm doing. I don't know if I mentioned, but one of the reasons that I picked this up was because of the polka dots. So sellers were saying that polka dots were a real big deal. So I picked that up, and I wouldn't pick Nicole and Danny and Nicole. Yeah, I wouldn't pick up another Danny and Nicole. This is Ann Taylor, and I have had some pretty good luck with Ann Taylor. And what did I just see? I thought I saw something in the image here. This needs to get, I need to get the wrinkles out of this before I list it. But it has, it is a white cotton shirt underneath with this navy blue over the top, creating the effect of polka dots. And then it's plumed across the waist. And this one I am going to list. And I think, let's see, did I make a note about what I wanted to list it for? This is the this is a size 16, and I am going to list it, but I hadn't settled on a price. I haven't settled on a price yet. I need to look at that a little bit more. So probably 12 to 20. Some of the things I'm showing you today do not have a very good sales history, and the ones that sell are pretty priced pretty low. This is a cute satiny strapless dress. I think I bought it with the idea of it's a Charlotte Russe, size small. It's polyester and cotton and spandex, and I think I bought it with the idea of it being a nice dress for homecoming or prom, and I think it's a little late this season for that, but I am going to list it, but I don't expect to get much for it. I'm going to list it for $25. There's a lot of dresses that look like this, but they're not that brand. So we'll see what happens with that one. This one's a huge disappointment. I am going to list it, but this is Christopher and Banks, which is, if you're familiar, it's a mall clothing store, and this is a pretty blue with lots of dragonflies on it, and I thought you know, dragonflies are really popular right now, and it kind of has a beachy look. It's 3/4 sleeve, and it is 100% cotton. And I'm kind of talking myself into that it's not so bad, but I didn't see any of these listed. And so that discouraged me a little bit. But I think if I use the right descriptions, I will be able to sell this and get probably $15 for it. And I would not pick that up again either. So what we're learning from this is this pile just coincidentally turned out to be a lot of stuff that I should not have picked up. And I wish I hadn't, but now I want to see if I can flip it and get some of my money back. This is what I used to call skorts, and it's I think they're still using that term. It's a pair of shorts with a skirt over it. It's all built in. This is from Duluth Trading Company. It's called Alaskan Hard Gear, and it's the Live Life Less Soft series, and it is, I'm pretty sure it's all nylon, polyester, and spandex. So these sort of, a lot of people are wearing, you know, what they would call a tennis style, and a lot of people are wearing these skorts. And this particular brand is not, I think I found one that had sold recently. And again, this is something that people will be wearing in the summer. So I'm hoping to get $15 for that. You're going to see $15 is a pretty prominent number tonight. Okay, this is Indigo Soul. It is a size 2X, and let me show you I bought it because of the flamingos. Last fall when I bought this, let me see what the dates on the tag. Yeah, I bought this in August of 25. And at that time, flamingos were just really popular. And I thought I would sell it strictly based on the flamingos. This exact shirt has sold on Poshmark for $5 to $10. I'm going to list it on all of my, I'm going to list it on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I'm going to list it for 20 and try to get 15 for it. And I paid, let's see, I paid $6 for this. One thing about where I live is the Goodwill prices and the thrift prices here are not too bad. And so, you know, a lot of places a shirt like that would have been $9. And I got it for less. Okay, this is a cute little white short dress with an elastic back, stretchy back, and this bric-a-brac straps and design on the bodice and the hem and the neckline. And I have never heard of this brand, and I could not find this brand. It's De Suppresso. And so this is probably a cheap brand. It's new with tags. It was selling at a boutique called Bellini in Omaha, Nebraska, which isn't very far. And anyways, it was originally sold for 24, is that it? 20, yeah, 42. It was originally sold for $42. I got it at Thrift America for $4.99. It's a size small. I did see a lot of dresses with the same design or a similar design on Poshmark and eBay. So I am going to keep this one. I'm going to list it for 25. And again, I'm hoping for 15. And then finally, I do have an item that, let me look at my notes to make sure I have exactly what this is. Oh, I can't find my note. This is, okay, I will just do this from off the top of my head. This, look at the front of it. Isn't that just beautiful? It has all this beadwork on here, and needlework is just gorgeous. And then it has the, you know, it's boho. It's very boho. And then the back is, there's a slit in the back, and then there's a tie for you to, so it's almost like a halter top. It's more like a tank. So the brand on this is, I'm going to have a horrible time pronouncing this. It is Banuni by Jati, and it is made in India. The fabric is, I think the fabric was not available. Oh, nope, there it is. The fabric is viscose, and the lining is cotton. I don't see a lining on this, so I wonder if it was originally sold with a lining. And this is sold in some of the mall stores, like, oh, I think this was made for Anthropologie. That's what I was trying to think of. I think it was sold at Anthropologie. And so this would, normally, I would be able to sell this for $45. But as I was looking at it, there is a problem. So on this back piece where the strap is, there is, see where it's ripped right next to the seam, probably from the pressure on the strap. So I feel like I have two choices. I am going to list it. I could repair it myself and list it for $45, or I could take a hit on it, describe it as needing a repair, and list it for $25. I have so much work to do that I would love to get $45 for this, but I don't feel like my time is worth that $20. So, excuse me, I need a drink of water, and I didn't set one next to me. So again, this is a huge disappointment, but I think I can still sell it and make a recovery of what I only paid. My tag's not on here. Usually I leave the tag on. Again, I only paid $6 for this. And so I don't think that one will be a total loss. So that's it. I've been trying to stick to 30 minutes, and I finally learned to turn my camera sideways. So you'll get a better video this week. And let me know what you think. Well, let me know what you think about AI. Let me know what you think about the items that I looked at tonight, what you think about who are the resellers that you follow, and what do you learn from them, and just your thoughts on what you're learning as new resellers, or what you have to offer as a more experienced reseller. And I will see you when you see me next, and that will probably be the end of May, when I give you my report on what sold on listing my death pile. Thank you so much for your time. Be sure to like, share, the whole bit, and thanks a lot. Bye-bye.